Hello, welcome to this talk. It is my pleasure to say hello to everybody. I hope you find all this discussion interesting. Today we are going to be talking about strategic development under the new normal and talking about the challenges and opportunities under the new economic order after COVID-19. So it is my pleasure to welcome Enrique Cortes. Thank you very much, Enrique, for joining us in
It's a
this.
pleasure.
And let me introduce you. Enrique has extensive international experience in the application of advanced information technology to enable the digital transformation of business in multiple industries. Currently, Enrique is the director of the Artificial Intelligence Hub of Tec de Monterrey, one of the first artificial intelligence ecosystems in Latin America. Previously, Enrique was the managing director of Luxoft Mexico, a Swiss firm that specialized in the use of advanced technology such as data science and artificial intelligence for digital transformation in industries like automotive, agriculture, and electronic commerce. Prior to that, Enrique worked for Perot Systems, Dell in the UK, India, and the United States, and the Philippines, helping global customers in the travel, utilities, financial, and healthcare industries. Enrique studied computer science at Tec de Monterrey and also holds a master's degree, and he is a PhD candidate in computer science from Arizona State University. He also attended the leading professional services firm at Harvard Business School. So thank you very much, Enrique. It's always a pleasure to have this chance to talk to you about different topics. We're gonna do it in a very casual way, and because this is a conversation, a talk between friends.
Very good.
Thank you so much again, and definitely today we are living very different, we can say complex times, but there is always complexity. The changes in the generations, the changes in technology bring different contents and different context and different circumstances to the surroundings of the businesses. Through the changes in terms of consumer patterns, consumer behavior, through the fact that supply chains are changing, through the fact also that purchasing powers keep adapting with the time, the geopolitical reconfiguration that takes place all the time when this country right now is trading with this country, when this country they stop trading with the other one due to different political circumstances. So this world, business world, is very dynamic, and it has been like that for quite a while. Right now that we find that economies are more linked, are more connected, but at the same time we are talking about a global business world. This is very interesting, and also because competition comes from very different aspects. But today we are dealing with a new challenge, with this new crisis, not the only one, not the first one, not unfortunately not the last one, and but we are dealing with this new circumstance. So from your perspective, what could you say it might be from a strategic point of view, the way how companies should be dealing with this new circumstance that we call it right now during the crisis and after post-crisis, what we call the new normal?
Look, when we entered this crisis, I'm like you. My mentality, my mindset is there is always something happening, right? So one more crisis, no big deal. We'll ride the waves, we'll be fine. But now that we are in the middle of it, you see that this one is different in many ways, right? Certain industries have been destroyed to start, or are very close to being destroyed. Certain industries are benefiting greatly from the crisis. And what catches more my attention is, I think, individuals are changing their behavior in significant ways. So I'll give you an example. My parents are retired, and my mother and my father are doctors, right? So when they practice, they never touch a computer. They never talk, I mean, they had cell phones, right? And they always talk about all these things that the grandchildren use, these weird technology things, right? Well, these kids, now they are retired, so they're in their house. And then in a couple of months, my parents went from that to today. They are masters users of e-commerce, so they buy everything through e-commerce. Things that for them were magic are now common sense, like they use WhatsApp to talk to us. They do video conferencing. They use Netflix. So their whole behavior changed in a couple of months because they had no choice, right? And if they can do that, then everybody's going through the same thing. So that's one, right? The technological aspect of it. The other one is, I don't know if you think like me, but I realize, and I think many of us are realizing that we don't need a bunch of things that we thought were essential, right? Like I was telling somebody, I really work from home 100% of the time. I used to hate working from home. Now I'm very efficient working from home, probably more efficient than I was before. And I don't use my car at all. I have a car there in the garage that I do not use. And I just start wondering, right? Do I need two cars in the household, or do I need one? Do I need these clothes that I used to have, or do I need something else? We used to love to go on vacation in abroad, right? Now we can't. Is this a big deal? Maybe it's not a big deal. So it's both corporations and consumers are changing in very, very significant ways. And this idea of digitalization, which is what I care about, things that we were thinking were in a time span of years have happened in a time span of months. So the whole thing accelerated, and nothing happened really. I mean, people are working from home, many things have been automated, and here we are, and no big deal, right? It's a new normal. So that's what I think. This is significantly different from other crises that are of a political or economic, simply that they affect the economy, but this one affects everything, it seems.
I think that's a good point, because at the end of the day, as you said, everything is changing, and everything is changing really fast. These dynamics have been present all the time, but right now is a different, very different circumstance. And as I've been saying, this is a time, it's always a time to keep listening and to keep watching. And but right now, it's becoming much more important. I have had the chance to talk to many companies in different sectors, and it's very, very interesting couple of things. One of them is how today companies are linked with other companies, how business models are being linked with other business models that are separate from them, even talking about giant companies, very successful, such as Amazon. They need the support from other companies in terms of packaging, logistics, and other things. And so this is becoming very important. From your point of view, what is the role that today these different technologies are playing in this big dynamic and in this big challenge, positive and negative, of course?
Well, we talk about acceleration of digitalization, and even before, it was very clear that now, let's say, physical distance is less and less important, right? So because of electronic means that we have. And you also talk about connections between things that are not always obvious. And as you do, I also talk to many companies, small and big, and I'll tell you two examples that I have seen. And these are small companies, right? I know somebody that has had a flower shop. And you go like, well, we don't need flowers anymore, right? But yeah, and he explained to me, well, yeah, but my business was not selling flowers to consumers like you. My business was selling flowers to weddings. And guess what? There are no weddings. So there are no weddings, there are no flowers. This poor guy lost his business, right? And that's not an obvious connection, at least to me, right? Flowers, weddings, events. And so you start going through the chain, right? There are no weddings. Then the people that have the venues where the weddings happen do not have a business anymore. Hotels, the people that provide the food don't have a business anymore. The wedding planners don't have. So all these connections have been affected by what we're living. So that's an example of something bad, right? Now I'll give you an example of something good. I coach a startup through the Tec de Monterrey, one of the Tec de Monterrey programs, and these guys, by luck and by strategy, they position themselves as a platform that delivers things for companies that are like, for example, large pharmacy chains, large retail places, large e-commerce places. When they when they have a peak of demand, and they themselves cannot deliver, they call this platform, and this platform connects people that have motorcycles and cars with the delivery, and this is just a technological platform. So you call the pharmacy and you say, I need a medicine. If they don't have their own delivery means, they use this platform. You call a motorcycle that brings the medicine to your house. And at the beginning of this crisis, they were not sure. They were saying, maybe I should retrench, and then we told them, no, this is your big opportunity. You should, this is it, man, because what's going to happen is people will not leave their houses, but they need medicine, they need food, they need shoes, they need all that stuff. So instead of retrenching, they did the reverse, they invested. And what I can tell you is this company, that this is a startup, they doubled their revenue in a quarter, and they went from red to black. Okay, they had a plan to be profitable in 12 months, and they became profitable in 3 months. And they doubled their revenue in a quarter, and that pattern will continue. So were they lucky? Yeah, but they were also in the right place at the right time. And that's what's going on right now. So some people are losers by accident or by strategy, and some people are winners by strategy or by luck or a combination of both. That's what is going on right now.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. And this is a good chance also because you have seen many companies or many businesses shutting down some of their facilities or the branches. And sometimes they were struggling already. And so this was the, I don't know if this is the correct way to say it, but it was the perfect excuse to say, okay, this is a time to close a particular operation. But at the same time, we have many different cases. We have cases of companies that they are doing the same with the same. They are doing the same with something different, but they are doing something different with the same. So it's really interesting when we start talking about this and we start thinking about all the opportunities that this is also bringing. And I think this is a time also for alliances, for strategic partnerships. And that's one of the very important aspects that we need to learn and we need to understand. Where is the market potential? Or what is all this company potential and the alliances potential? In your experience, what do you think about this? Of trying to pursue these alliances?
Look, that's insightful. I'll tell you why. If you see the restaurant businesses, they are dead, okay? But I was reading, for example, that in London, it was a big center of high-end restaurants, right? They're closed, like they're closed here in Mexico and Brazil or whatever. But some are reinventing their business to deliver restaurant-grade high-end meals packaged, so semi-cooked, packaged in a very nice way, so that in your house with instructions, right? So you receive a little package that says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the recipe is first you heat A, then you put a little olive oil, then you do this, then you do that. So you can recreate not the experience, but at least the food of a high-end restaurant in your house. And that's a huge reinvention, because that restaurant, that was not the business they had. So they had to find somebody that would maybe partner with them to say, how do we do this in volume, to package things? How do we express this recipe in a way that a normal guy could recreate in their house, etc., etc. And what I'm reading is very good reviews of really good restaurants going to that business model, and the reviewers in the big papers in the UK, like the Guardian, saying, "Hey, this is pretty good stuff that I can do in my house now," and that did not exist 4 months ago, right? And like that, I guess many businesses are starting to say, "Well, okay, this is it. Okay, I get it. So I can die, or I can do something else. If I do something else, there are some things that I don't know how to do. So I need to find somebody that knows how to do what I need, like packaging and designing a nice package and doing the marketing to do that." So it's a choice, really. I choose to die, or I choose to fight, and I think I prefer the choose to fight.
Definitely. And that reminds me something which today is taking a lot of importance and is gaining importance, which is two things. One is you have to add value and make sure you add value to what you do and what you offer. And the other thing is about customer experience. And what you're doing is you're delivering customer experience. And today, for us as customers, since we lack some sort of experiences that we used to have, like going to the movies, going to the restaurant, going to social places or spaces, this is becoming very important. So this is the time for many companies to reinvent or to readapt or adapt their business models in the way you are saying. So that's why today for us is so important to talk about the flexibility of businesses. But there is one thing which is even more important sometimes, and we forget, is the cultural flexibility of companies. In your experience, what could you share with us in terms of business culture? Because sometimes it's not that difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's not that difficult just to say on paper, we are going to change the business model and things. But convincing people and engaging people, that's quite a challenge sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. It's like this flower shop thing that I told you, somebody that I know, and he was talking and saying, "No, I'm ruined now," and whatever. And I was suggesting, "Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" And what his answer was, I sell flowers, man. That's what I know." And if you have that attitude, this is not the correct attitude right now where everything is changing, right? You need creativity. And as you say, you need to see what works in the new environment. It's like, I'll give you a different example of this. Call centers, right? Call centers, I don't know if you have been to one, surely you have been, they are enclosed, or they were enclosed offices with very small cubes where you had thousands of people, 20 centimeters from each other answering phones, right? And then here comes coronavirus. That environment is not going to work anymore at all, right? So this type of enterprises had to react very fast and say, what can I automate quickly, okay, by technological means? So now you see an explosion of intelligent bots, for example, to do customer service. And you also can see a trend saying, maybe these agents, they don't need to go to a physical place. Maybe they can work from home, right, and be in a call center. So software routes the calls or the inquiries to wherever you are, and then you answer the call from your house or from wherever you are. So this concept of, in the case of call center or service center, of a physical place with 1,000 people is no more. And I don't think that's coming back. And so the reaction of this business really surprises me, because that really was do or die. And they didn't die. They're still there.
Yeah.
And it's culture. You can have the attitude of, oh, I have been doing this for 10 years and sorry, I cannot change. Or the world is different. What can I do with that? Culture.
Definitely. And we have also very, very interesting examples and very positive of people that is adapting in the right way and is very open to the change. And at the end of the day, we have different stages. The first stage is a matter of survival. And yes, we need to pay wages. Yes, we need to pay suppliers. We need to keep operating. We move to the next stage, and it's a matter of developing particular strategies to keep moving stage by stage. Right now that we talk about the new normal, that me personally, I don't talk about one new normal. From my perspective, there are many different new normals. And every time things keep evolving. If we think about supply chains worldwide, we all are experiencing this crisis in different geographies around the globe, but not exactly at the same pace and with the same impact. So this is very interesting how different sectors are being experiencing this crisis. Talking about Latin America, and you have had the experience of working with companies in Asia, in Europe, in North America, and in Latin America in general. What is your perspective and what are the challenges? Of course, we can talk about before this crisis and after this crisis. What would you say are the challenges for different companies? Of course, we need to make distinctions between small, medium, and large enterprises. But what would you say might be some of the lessons that companies should learn out from this?
I think a huge one is in Latin America. Large companies are different, very large companies, because they are global and they have these automated supply chains. But for the rest of us, I think we have a gigantic opportunity because we don't have legacy systems, or we have very few legacy systems. So we can jump from whatever we had before this to the most modern thing. And sometimes that jump is not even a huge investment, it's more knowledge. Right now, with what the type of technology that we have in the cloud, by providers of cloud services, the big ones, you can do a bunch of things by the drink. Okay, you can build systems by assembling the pieces by the drink. Now, and you pay by the whatever you do. So, for example, to give you an example, no? Google Cloud has an AI section, let's call it section, that has a little section that you can do image recognition, and you pay by the image recognized. So I want to know if there is a cheese in the picture. So for every recognition, you pay 0.000001 of a dollar, right? So you can build these systems, assembling the pieces, and then you can start paying by the drink. And this is the most modern technology there is, and is to a degree free up to a certain point, and then you start paying, right? So we have this opportunity, I think, in the mid-size enterprise in Latin America, to immediately jump to the most modern technology, understand it, and then start creating these very leading edge systems with the assembly of pieces that you don't even need to write because they exist. So, but this is specialized knowledge. You need somebody to help you a little bit. Once you get it, you get it. And then you can start building better supply chains and delivery chains. You can build pretty awesome customer experience systems. And I'm not saying painful, but it's not that difficult, because what is difficult is when you have a legacy system or something that you have been using for a long time, and then you need to migrate to something. But when you don't have that, you build the most modern thing from scratch. And I think that's a big thing we can do. Now, if you're talking about the small businesses, the little shops and all that, I mean, you have seen it. Is in Mexico, for example, we see more and more acceptance of electronic payments and credit cards, right? So why? Because now we have the technology to do that in a very small shop, let's say. You can connect to marketplaces that already exist. So there are plenty of opportunities, and maybe what we don't have is the knowledge to take those opportunities and build something that helps my business. But the opportunity is there, the technology is there, and we just need a little imagination and a little knowledge, and you can really build things that are absolutely leading edge, ahead of things that you see in the US, let's say. So great opportunity and great challenge at the same time.
Definitely. And also, as you were saying, it's a matter of the society. I always keep saying that sometimes, even when business do not come to realize about the potential of the market, of their business itself, or about the challenges, it is going to be the market, the one telling you. It's going to be the consumers telling you, hey,
that's right.
You're losing some opportunities which are important, or you're one step behind the market trends. And this is really interesting. And right now, in comparison with what was happening in the past, we are facing a new challenge, which is targeting different market segments. Mm-hmm. Because right now, it was kind of more homogeneous in the past, because you were trying just to target one particular market, and all the other markets were adapting because the differentiations were not so big. Today, we are talking about different preferences and tastes, and different also purchasing powers. Even if you are not the one making the money, you are the one spending the money. And this is really interesting. Who's making the decisions in terms of consumer expenditure? Talking about this, and one thing that you know pretty well, which is analytics. Mm-hmm. And right now we need, we have the chance, we have the access to more data. We can produce more information out from consumer behavior. Yes, we talk about descriptive analytics, we talk about predictive analytics, and we talk about prescriptive analytics, and some other branches of analytics that are emerging. How important is this? And as you were saying, it's not like you need, if you are a small company, it's not like you need to develop your own technology or your own processes. You can have some sort of outsourcing of them. And but what do you see in terms of this as a potential for different businesses?
I think that's a huge thing right now. It's as you said, we people that, you know, we like this analytics business. I think what is now happening is and what people can take advantage of is the data that is structured like transactions, and the match of that with the data that is unstructured like social media. So when you marry those two things, now you have something interesting, because you have a 360 view of the customer. And if you use that as a base, as you said, now we don't have segments of million people. Now we can have I'm exaggerating, but segment of one, because I know you. I don't know people like you. I know you. I know that you do this and you do that and you bought this and you didn't buy this other thing, because I have the click stream in websites. So I can tailor my, for example, if you have a digital product, I can tailor it to you. Or to a segment that is very, very, very narrow, right? And the other day, somebody surprised me, because I don't use Facebook. I really don't. But somebody told me, hey, I saw, actually my wife told me, I saw this thing in Facebook. It was a piece of furniture, right? And I'm like, can you buy things in Facebook? Of course you can buy things in Facebook. And then he showed me what it's in there. It's pretty amazing, right? So people are selling all sorts of things in Facebook, and I didn't know, right? So as for example, as a small business, now you have avenues to sell and buy that were not available before. Things like Facebook, right? So you have Facebook, you have the analytics of Facebook, you have the analytics of the other social media. You marry that with transactions, and then I know you. And you see it right now. There are people that know a lot about this, but even small businesses can take advantage of this fact that now you have a channel to sell through social media, and you have all the data of social media to know your consumers in a very, very, very narrow way. And this is it right now. This is the time, right? So we're looking at things that now they seem strange a year ago, and now they are pretty normal. Things are going fast.
Definitely. And right now that we are talking about experiences and we're talking about retail industry, it's very interesting because we have these technologies such as augmented reality. We're just trying to picture it, and it happens as we speak. But people right now, some people would like to go out, right? And but for safety reasons, they won't do it. But what about if now you can go into the shopping mall or going into somewhere, into the restaurant, even if you are having all the meals sent by this high-end restaurant, this fancy place. You are in your dining room, but you are using augmented reality, or you are visiting the store, and you can see, or you can get immersed into the atmosphere of the place. So this is definitely something that is going to reshape what we are used to do or to happen. And this is the way how e-commerce have been evolving, right? It was at the beginning, it was, hey, with a click, I can buy something. Yeah, that's great. Now, trying to provide you with a better experience, now it's a matter of better, more high quality photographs of the products. Now I can give you this view of 360 degrees, and you can do and move and try to see it from different angles. Right now it's going to be different. It's being different. And so how this is redefining the experience that customers we are facing. And this is one of many different examples that we can talk about.
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting topic, the customer experience using virtual reality, mixed reality, and the combo with the data. We talk about the analytics and a dash of AI into that recipe. I think that's super powerful. It's like, probably you have seen this app by IKEA, that you pick in the catalog a sofa, then with your cell phone you look at your living room or whatever, and you say, I want the sofa in this living room, and then the sofa is in your living room, and you go like, nah, that's a little too big. Let's try this other one. So you don't need to go to the store, right? You don't need to transport the sofa or the rug or whatever it is to your house, because you're looking at your house and the sofa in your house. Maybe people like me that we are really picky, we still need to see the fabric and feel the fabric or whatever. But in terms of that, I think it's fantastic. Or there is an app that I love from, not related to e-commerce, but about this experience. There is something called Google Arts. And then this Google Arts, you can do the same thing. Is I like this painting by Gauguin. So I'm going to, in my iPad, I'm going to point it to my room, and then I want this Gauguin in that place there. See how it looks. Ooh, looks nice, right? So I think this mixed reality combined with AI and analytics is that's the way it will be. Simply because it's convenient and it gives you an experience that is fantastic. And then I'll give you another one is people that sell glasses, right? Like these things. There is one that I like, and up to this point, the business was, pretty modern and hip and whatever. So they said, pick a frame, we'll send it to your house via FedEx or whatever. You try it, you like it, fine. If not, you return it, right? If you use virtual reality, you don't need to send the frame to your house. You just put a good picture of yourself, and then you can see yourself doing this with the frame you like, and then you say, like that one, man, click, send it to me. So the CX is going to change radically.
And colors and shapes and everything.
Exactly.
Right? So
Exactly. It's like these ones are, they come in black and they come in brown. Okay. Let me see the brown. Yeah, no, the black, the brown. No, the black. That's the one.
and you can sell the combo. So this is the time also, now that you're mentioning, the real time for customization.
That's right.
Customization has proved to be a very, very effective strategy for different business and companies, and people really like that. And you were mentioning about this thing of using technology, either to look at a sofa in your living room or any other space you may have. This is good from the consumer's perspective, but this is also wonderful news from the seller's perspective in terms
That's
of
right.
inventory management. So for them, warehousing, it has been all the time one of the big challenges, and it's very costly. And so for them, this is going to bring different ingredients into the cost structure and into the business itself. And So this is really interesting, and I think right now that we are talking about this. And what is your experience in bringing something that you know also pretty well, which is artificial intelligence, into the business models of different companies?
Look, I was talking about people in retail, exactly about AI and how it works and whatever. And there are several angles to this. One is understanding the customer, right? Which we discussed through analytics and data science. And then there is another angle of have a dialogue with your customer, right? Which is normally through your website or through the phone, or you go to the store. Well, now we can build this software that can have an intelligent dialogue with you, voice or written, understand what you want, and then you need a human in the middle of you and me, and that allows me to have a individual dialogue with you in mass, okay, in the millions. If you combine that dialogue with the fact that now we can understand sentiment also in an automated way. If I'm looking at you, we have algorithms to say, oh, today you are a little unhappy. So I'm going to talk to you in a different way than if you were happy, because probably you are going to complain about something. So I'll be much more polite. When I say I will be, it's not me, it's software will be more polite with you, right? Siri will be more polite with you. You combine those two. So you're having a meaningful dialogue that changes with the sentiment. Then you combine that with products that are tailored to you. So you have a meaningful dialogue that changes according to sentiment. You have products that are tailored to you. And then you combine a product that is tailored to you with this dialogue and sentiment and with other technology like VR. And then we give you a personalized, surprising, amazing customer experience with technology. No human in the middle. And this is it. Okay, this is where we can do it. And it's not only retail, it's anything that has a customer, right?
Is
Anything. It can be B2B, it can be B2C, it can be B2B2C. And this technology is not that is super new, is that now we have the means to do it in volume, let's say in mass. So we're experimenting with it, but this is it.
Definitely. And so this is a time for decision making being changing like never before, because we have many different other ingredients that we can start adding into the picture. And as you were saying, we talk about sentiment analysis, and one of the main ways to start this, it was through text in the social media. But now with this thing that you were mentioning of facial recognition, you can add different ingredients. Now we have some hotels that they are prototyping some tests of when you see the guest entering into the hotel, you can see, as you were mentioning, the face, and you can look at the at the mood of the people, how they are feeling, under stress, happy,
Tired.
what kind of tired, what kind of feelings they are, anxious. So what are you going to offer them? And sometimes it's like, how are you today? It's like, just look at my face, how I'm feeling today, right? And
Yeah.
we can add some other things, body temperature, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so many differences.
And look, I like the hotel scenario. Okay, so you always go to Marriott or whatever. So you come in, and a system says, today you look very, very tired, and I know who you are because of visual recognition. So you approach the desk, and they go, oh, hello, sir, or hello, Juan, whatever. See that you're tired. Your room is ready. There you go. No more dialogue needed. You're ready. Bye. Or you come, you're happy, it's a new city for you, you're a tourist, then my approach will be different. Hello, Juan. Look, you are early, you can go to the theater, by the way, talk to the concierge. So this gives you tools to do an excellent customer experience. The
Definitely.
combination of technology and humans.
And it's what you were saying is, I know who you are, and thank you to the different technologies and things that we are using, is I know what you've been doing. And in this week, I know you've been traveling in these places. I know what you were doing. And it's very interesting when you try to understand. So we, again, talk about customization, customer experience, and all these things. So today, the big challenge is how do we adapt these business models into the new situations? Definitely, there is a new economic order that we are facing. Different companies, they are facing, as we said, different challenges in terms of market capitalization, in terms of operations. But this is the time of combining in a smart way operations with strategy development.
Yes.
And so for Latin America, in the past, we need to understand that there are different markets in Latin America. We have, yes, a lot of challenges in terms of inequality, income inequality, the social inequality that we are facing in different ways, education, health, and some others. But then at the same time, we need to understand that this is also the time for companies to think socially as well, in a very, very conscious way. How do they have to adapt their business, not only in terms of market profitability, but also in terms of social impact? And I'm convinced that in Latin America, and not in many other places, but in Latin America in particular, because we are talking about Latin America as well. And this social aspect of companies is gaining more and more importance. What could you, and we've been talking about technology, and we've been talking about economics and businesses. From your perspective, putting all this together, socially, there are many opportunities to use technology. I know you've been doing things with education through artificial intelligence projects, etc. What can you share with us regarding it?
Well, that's true. This is kind of new, right? To apply high tech, let's say AI, to social issues. But we have been working in health and in education in particular. And I think the benefit will be great, but there are also great dangers of misuse, right? Because with like Iron Man or somebody said, with great power comes great responsibility. It is true in this case, right? Because you are dealing with very delicate problems. It's like there is a problem that somebody proposed to us, and we went like, I'm not sure I'm ready to face that problem. That was, can you predict if a young man is going, or a young woman is going to be a criminal? Well, theoretically you can, right? Analytics allows us to do prediction based on factors that are social and economic. Now, can you do it? Yes. Should you do it? No, you shouldn't do that. That's crazy, because a mistake is will ruin a life. It's not worth it. Now, if you go to health, that's a different situation, because you can save the lives of millions through technology, okay? And you didn't have that chance before. It's like we're working on diabetes and certain things that go with the life of a diabetic. And we see that applying AI to that field will really benefit at least millions of people if we know how to do it and we do it right, because there are not enough doctors, many factors, right? So in social settings, this type of technology can be very advantageous or can be very dangerous, and those ethical and transparency problems are still being studied. So it's not a well understood field. There are many people thinking about that. How do we explain the results of AI? What is ethical and not ethical? Forget the legal, because there are many fields where there are no laws that govern what we do with AI, right? So it's I wouldn't say an open field. We're learning, but it is a very exciting field. But we need to go carefully into that, so as not to make dumb mistakes that will touch people's lives.
Definitely, I totally agree with you. And so this is a great challenge, definitely. But this is also a great opportunity to put everything together, to connect the dots. And yes, we have the chance to talk about the political environment, the legal environment, the social environment, the technological environment, and many other environments that we're facing. It is really important to understand that things are changing pretty fast. And these situations, such as the one that we are experiencing right now with COVID-19, in a certain way, challenge us, but also push us to understand in a faster way what are the opportunities, but also what are the challenges. And that's one of very important things for business, for governments, and for the society in general. And yes, things are going to be different, but they were going to be different in a different way, with or without COVID-19. So this is a very good opportunity for many different business models to prove themselves, for very, very interesting business models to readapt to the new circumstance, again, at the different stages that we are facing right now. There is a new normal as we speak. Tomorrow, there is going to be a new normal. In 1 week, in 1 month, in 1 year, with the vaccination, without it, in some other places, with new viruses, with new technologies emerging, with new generations having access to different circumstances, socially, economically, and technologically speaking. So this is really, really interesting. I don't know if you would like to share with us some closing remarks, since we are running out of time. And what happens, what are the lessons from a strategic point of view that leaders, that societies, that executives, we need to learn?
I think from my point of view, I come from technology. A huge lesson and a huge warning is things have accelerated. The windows of planning are now much shorter. Things have happened that we didn't even imagine, okay, in your industry and every industry, even in education, right? So we just need to be very alert to what's going on. And we need to recognize that things that we were planning for a horizon of 5 years are happening today. So we need to be much more attuned to the changes and to the opportunities, because they present themselves very fast and then they disappear. So this scanning of markets and competitors and what I'm doing and my strategy needs to be faster and super dynamic. We cannot plan in spans of 5 years, not even a year sometimes. So things are fast.
Definitely. Enrique, it's always a pleasure exchanging ideas with you. This has been really, really good. I really appreciate the opportunity, as always, in your time and your availability. Thank you so much, and for sharing this time and these ideas with us. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's talk again.